Leaders of the Ukrainian opposition have called on protesters in Kiev to refrain from violence. However, the city's embattled centre remains ablaze overnight. These are live pictures we're showing for you right now. In fact, it's approximately 11 a.m. there in the Ukrainian capital. The latest report from there with RT correspondent Peter Oliver.
I'm overlooking Independence Square, where the speakers are continuing to deliver their rhetoric from the stage just there, so you might be able to hear that over the top of me talking. Now, we have seen a distinct decrease in the amount of people on the streets on Thursday compared to Wednesday. Now, that's because Wednesday was a public holiday. It allowed more people to come out. But what those people have left that were here yesterday, that were here on Wednesday, well, they've left more barricades, better built barricades, and certainly far more secure barricades. I'm about 200 meters away. Just over to my left is where that main flashpoint is going on in front of the Dynamo Stadium between rioters and riot police, where they're separated by what is literally a wall of fire. Now, I was out in that last night and having a look around about what was going on there, and it looked like something more out of Dante's Inferno. We heard from former world heavyweight champion Vitaly Klitschko, who's one of the main opposition leaders here.
If the president does not comply with our demands, we'll focus our efforts. There will be more of us, and we will start an offensive. I never urged for a physical standoff. We're calling for a nationwide strike. The people need to have their say. But I'm using my own personal authority to call a halt to the violence.
But from what we've seen, certainly that well, he should stick to the jab, really, because we've seen continuous amounts of Molotov cocktails thrown, fireworks thrown, rocks, lot of rocks, a lot of the paving stones here in Kiev had been broken up and used as ammunition against police. So Vitaly Klitschko claims that he's using his personal influence in order to bring about peace. Well, we didn't see that on Wednesday night at all.
Let's have a look at exactly where the ongoing turmoil has been taking place. On RT International, here comes the map of central Kiev, where the two streets end up conjoining at the top at European Square at the top there. That's at the forefront of the unrest. And let's go back to showing you some live pictures again here from central Kiev as the barricades continue to burn and many people still in attendance there. It's, in fact, RT's Peter Oliver has been circulating in that area. He's certainly been in the thick of it, as we've been reporting here on RT International. Some of the fiercest clashes have taken place around the nearby government buildings up around European Square, as you can see. Also Grushevskogo Street, that runs all the way along the side of Kiev up to the top where European Square. That's where a security operation on Wednesday was pushing out some of the more radical protesters. Now, there have been conflicting reports on the number of casualties, but so far we have confirmation of the deaths of two protesters, both reportedly with bullet wounds. Authorities all the while, though, stressing police are not equipped with live ammunition. Though in the meantime, over 200 police officers have been injured during the riots, and more than 80 of them have wound up in hospital. We did ask a former British police officer with experience of crowd control to take us through the tactics currently being employed by the Ukrainian authorities.
The minute it starts becoming violent in the way that those protests have done, then they have no option than to react sometimes in the way they did. Because once that situation does get out of control like that, well, then there's two primary aims. The first aim is to restore peace quickly in whatever way you can, get the demonstrators moved away, broken up, arrested, whatever. And then the second primary means is to do so as safely as possible for the public first, but then for the officers second. So I think, in some ways, when you get that degree of violence being used against police officers, in many ways, it's not surprising that they have reacted as vigorously as they have. I mean, it's not very nice. It doesn't look very good.